What is up, you guys? Welcome back to another one. If you are new to the channel, I am Gold Pony. Today we are in the new 2019 Nissan Sentra, courtesy of Hanover Nissan in Hanover, PA. And I think it's been a year or two since I've reviewed this one, and I've always liked the Sentra SR, and I've had a Nissan before. So without further ado, let's just jump right into it. And as always, let's start with pricing. And so as expected, there are several different trim levels for the Sentra. First one being the S, that starts at $17,890. Then the SV for $19,190. SR, which is the one we have today, that one is going to start at $20,690. SR Turbo for $22,670. SL for $23,120. And lastly, the Nismo for $25,940. But so that when it comes to power, there are two different engine setups available for the new Sentra. First one being a 1.8 liter naturally aspirated inline 4-cylinder belonging to the S, SV, SL, and SR trim levels, meaning the one we have today. That one is going to put out 124 horsepower at 6,000 RPM, 125 pound-feet of torque available at 3,600 RPM, power sent to the front wheels through a CVT or 6-speed manual. You do have that option for this. That's pretty cool. Giving you MPG numbers coming in at 29 in the city, 37 on the highway. And then the other engine setup belonging to the SR Turbo and the Nismo, of course, being a 1.6 liter turbocharged inline 4-cylinder, putting out 188 horsepower at 5,600 RPM and 177 pound-feet of torque at 5,200 RPM. Again, sent to the front wheels through a 6-speed or CVT, giving you MPGs 27 city, 33 highway for the SR Turbo, and 25 city, 30 highway actually for the Nismo. And by the way, regardless of which engine setup that you go with, the Sentra will actually take regular unleaded fuel, so you don't have to go with the expensive premium stuff, not even for the turbocharged engine. And so, but now I think it is time. Let's do a quick little acceleration here. We'll see how quickly we can get the new 2019 Sentra up to speed. Alright, so it's not the fastest car in the world. If you want fast, go with the 370Z. And again, I have the naturally aspirated 4-cylinder, so it's not going to be as fast as the turbocharged one. But having said that, definitely wouldn't have minded the turbocharged engine. But so then to go along with that acceleration, as always, braking is equally important. And the braking setup is actually going to differ depending on which engine setup that you go with. For instance, the naturally aspirated engine setup, you are going to get 11-inch ventilated front discs and 9-inch rear drum brakes. However, if you went with the turbocharged engine setup, you get 11.7-inch ventilated front discs and 11.5-inch solid rear discs. You don't have the drum brakes if you go with the turbocharged engine setup, at least. But as I keep mentioning, I do have the naturally aspirated engine setup, and I gotta be honest, the braking feel isn't that bad. It feels perfectly fine to me. Definitely no issues with bringing the car to a stop. But then touching on the suspension a little bit, up front you will find an independent strut front suspension, in the back a torsion beam rear suspension, and you will also get front and rear stabilizer bars regardless of which engine setup that you go with. However, if you went with either the SR Turbo or Nismo trim level, you will actually get a specifically tuned sport suspension if you went with one of those two trim levels there. And then just touching on ride quality, I've had absolutely no issues. Sentra has definitely soaked up the bumps fairly well here in Hanover, and also when it comes to cabin noise, also pleasantly surprised. It's really not all that loud in here. There's really not a whole lot of wind noise coming in. It was kind of windy this morning, so definitely no issues there as well. Touching on the steering feel a little bit, at least in this SR non-turbocharged setup that we have today, it is a little bit on the numb side. It is kind of loosey-goosey, I guess you could say, but wouldn't have minded a slightly heavier weight to it. But all in all, I suppose it is as expected for a non-turbocharged Sentra. And then touching on visibility a little bit, absolutely 100% no issues when it comes to visibility. And typically with sedans, you're not going to have any, but really no issues with the Sentra. I can see perfectly fine out the back, so you are good to go there. But enough with the driving dynamics. I think it is time. Let's check out the exterior of this new 2019 Nissan Sentra. And so starting up front, halogen headlights will come standard for the S and SV trim levels. Automatic feature is actually going to come standard on all trim levels. Meaning when it starts to get dark out, you don't have to worry about flicking the lights on at night there. LED headlights, if you wanted them, are going to come with the SR trim level and up. And they're actually going to come with LED accent lighting as well. But fog lights, again, SR trim level and up, and the SR trims are also going to give you a slightly revised, more aggressive front fascia up front as well. But then make your way to the side. Body colored power adjustable side mirrors will come standard for all trim levels. You will also get LED integrated turn signals within the side mirrors if you want with the SR trim level and up. And that Nismo trim is actually going to give you several black accents throughout the exterior, including on those side mirrors that we're touching on now. But taking a look at the wheel setup, 16-inch steel wheels with covers for the S trim level, 16-inch alloy wheels for the SV, 17-inch 10-spoke aluminum alloy wheels for the SR and SR Turbo. That's what you're looking at right now. And 17-inch 5-spoke aluminum alloys for the SL, and 18-inch aluminum alloys if you went with the Nismo. Then swinging around to the back, you will find a rear spoiler for the SR trim levels only. Also trim level badging back there if you were ever curious what trim you were actually looking at. And just below it all, a single exhaust outlet for all trim levels. However, you will get a chrome exhaust tip if you went with one of the SR trim levels or the Nismo. So, having said that, you guys know what we have to do next. As always, here is that exhaust clip. It's open now since we are around back. To open that rear trunk, there actually is a button on the key fob there, so I'm just simply going to press that, and once opened up, cargo capacity is going to come in at 15.1 cubic feet. If that was not enough space for you though, there is a 60-40 split, meaning the rear seats do fold down for quite a bit of extra space if you needed it there. Then make your way to the rear legroom. That comes in at 37.4 inches. So for reference, I'm an even 6 feet tall. This is how much space I had back there. And there's also going to be a rear center armrest with cup holders for those rear passengers as well. But so now making your way to the front seats, manually adjustable cloth seats are going to come with the S, SV, SR, and SR Turbo trim levels. If you went with the SL, you will get a 6-way power adjustable driver's seat with power lumbar, and SL meaning leather, meaning those seats are going to be leather surfaced as well. And the SR trim level and up are going to give you heated front seats. That's what you're looking at right now. And you're also going to get suede surfaces if you went with that Nismo trim level at least. Let's take a look forward at the steering wheel. It is a 370Z inspired steering wheel for the SV trim level and up, so definitely looks pretty nice up there. And it will come leather wrapped again with the SV trim level and up, and Alcantara is going to be added if you went with the Nismo there. But now let's get to the startup here, and let me start by showing you guys the key here. Everything is all going to be located on one side of the key, the lock, unlock, and that button to pop the rear hatch. But to start this one, if you went with the SV trim level and up, there is actually going to be a push button start just by the driver's right knee there. And then what's started up, tachometers on your left, speedometers on your right. There is a fairly large digital display actually front and center there. And to control what is on that digital display, there are some steering wheel mounted controls on the left side of the steering wheel if you like. You can scroll through different things like your different driving aids. When you need your next oil change, it's going to show a picture of the car, your average speed, a whole bunch of different things up there. But now let's touch on overall interior quality a little bit. You will find a power moonroof if you went with the SL or SR Turbo trim levels. It's actually going to be optional on the SR that we have today, but we don't have that today, but also going to be optional on the SV as well. You will also find overhead LED map lights for all trim levels. I found that pretty cool because a lot of times you're just going to see those halogen map lights, so Sentra is going to give you LEDs for all trim levels. That's pretty nice. Dual zone climate control is going to come in the SV trim level and up, and HomeLink controls for the SL trim level. And overall, I don't mind the interior in this. It is kind of on the basic side, but I do kind of like the carbon fiber look that they got going on. It's not real carbon fiber, of course, but it kind of looks like it around the shifter there, and that trim ties in onto the doors as well there. But now let's make our way to the tech display on this one, because a 7-inch color touchscreen display will come standard for all trim levels. That will come with Bluetooth and audio streaming and Android Auto and Apple CarPlay if you want with the SV trim level and up. And that's definitely something that you want, especially if you have a smartphone, because it's going to give you free navigation as well as the ability to like and dislike your Pandora songs up there as well. But along with that, up in that tech display, you can check out your radio settings as expected. And by the way, when it comes to the sound system on the Sentra, the S trim level is going to give you 4 speakers. For the SV, SR, and SR Turbo that we have today, you will find 6-speaker sound system. And with the SL and the Nismo trim levels, you're going to get an 8-speaker Bose system. But as I said, we do have the 6-speaker sound system today, so what do you say? Let's turn on the radio, see what we got playing this morning, and let's test out the clarity of this one. No idea what they were saying, but actually not that bad of a sound system. More bass than I expected. Definitely wouldn't have minded a couple extra speakers in this one, but still not that bad of a sound system for 6 speakers. But so then last thing on the tech display, at least I wanted to mention to you guys, is when you put the Sentra in reverse, you will find a rear view camera for every single trim level, letting you know who or what is behind you, which is always going to lead me into safety. And so to start, there are front, side, and side curtain airbags. In the back, you're going to find latch, aka lower anchors and tethers for children for the rear car seats. Also back there, rear child door locks as well, and a tire pressure monitoring system for all trim levels. If you went with the SV trim level and up, that's also going to give you automatic emergency braking. And lastly, if you went with the SL trim level, you will get blind spot warning with rear cross traffic alert. And so, but anyways, that is about it for this one, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to like the video and subscribe. Feel free to follow me on social media at the bottom of the screen there, and I will see you guys in the next video. Stay gold!